Jayhawk TV would like to take a moment and thank all of our wonderful sponsors. Without them, this season of Jayhawk TV would not be possible.
All right, guys, in this week's episode of Jayhawk TV, we're going to be talking to this week's Player of the Week, Jayce Powell. We're going to be talking about what happened at Leechburg, and of course, we're going to be looking ahead to Central Week on Friday the 13th. All that and more when Jayhawk TV starts now. All right, guys, so we headed to Leechburg for what was quite a showdown between the Jayhawks and the Blue Devils, but the Jayhawks came out on top. The second half was quite a show in itself. The Jayhawks were everywhere on offense. Quarterback Peyton Moulter had 207 yards in the air, and he found the end zone twice in the air as well. He rushed 15 times for 71 yards and 1 touchdown. And that 1 touchdown is when he put the whole team on his back and found a way into the end zone with less than a minute left in the game to put the Jayhawks on top. We asked him after the game what he thought about that touchdown, and man, he said that was the best $20 he's ever spent, because as you know, every time he finds the end zone, he donates $20 to the Lisa Friscarelli's GoFundMe account to help with her cancer needs.
You're really hungry right about now, and you want a really good pizza, but you don't know where to order. Head on down to South 4th Street in Jeanette to Saforno's. Saforno's is a laid-back pizza restaurant that offers both dine-in and takeout options. Saforno's restaurant boasts a cool and relaxed ambience with a delicious and creative menu. And let me tell you, I've had their pizza and it is top notch. They sponsor Jayhawk TV. You obviously like Jayhawk TV and pizza, so head on down there now.
If I were to tell you to guess who is at the top of the rushing board, would it be really even a contest? Even if I told you he only had one hand? Of course, it's Noah Sanders with 131 yards, and he did find the end zone 1 time. Talk to him a little bit. His cast has been downgraded. It is just a thumb that is injured, so he doesn't really have like a whole club situation going on. It's more of just a forearm and hand situation, so it gives him a little bit more mobility. But does he really even need more mobility? Because he is so versatile on both sides of the ball. Jayce Powell, our player of the week, he had 2 catches, 74 yards, finding the end zone 1 time. Those, both Jayce Powell and Noah Sanders, were Peyton Moulter's 2 touchdowns in the end zone. Going back to Jayce Powell, the freshman at the top of the tackling list again. I think he's going to hold that #1 spot because, man, he comes in and he plays with a head of steam, and the numbers just don't lie. There's nothing else I can say than the numbers don't lie. And I take the stats, so I know.
We'd like to thank Saved by Grace Financial for sponsoring Jayhawk TV. They are a financial service firm offering income tax, accounting, and investment advisory service, as they continue to share the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout their community and strive to be a beacon of light in this dark and fallen world. So make sure you go see my guy Tony on Main Street in Irwin for all your tax and financial needs, and be sure to tell him that Julie from Jayhawk TV sent you. Jayhawk TV would like to thank Stellar Precision Components for sponsoring this season. Located in Jeanette, Stellar Precision is a CNC machine shop that uses state-of-the-art technology to provide complex components to the defense and aerospace industry.
The Jayhawks won that game 37-31, so yes, it was a very close game. And man, they had those fans on the edge of their seats, and I'm a little disappointed in the Leechburg fan base, but we don't really have to get into that. You saw my live video on Instagram. It was just a little bit of a disappointment on how the Leechburg fan base presented themselves towards the Jayhawk players and other fans and coaches for that matter. I just know that stuff doesn't happen at McKee Stadium.
Are you a motorcycle enthusiast looking for high quality parts and gear? Look no further than Chicken Strip Cycles. It is an online shop for all of your motorcycle needs. At Chicken Strip Cycles, they understand your passion for the open road. They don't stop at just parts. They also offer a comprehensive range of motorcycle gear. Chicken Strip Cycles is locally owned and operated. Don't settle for anything less than the best. Visit their website today and experience the convenience, quality, and expertise that Chicken Strip Cycle has to offer.
Going back to things that don't happen at McKee Stadium, at least we have a modern press box. My husband and I got to the field and there was a wooden ladder that wasn't even bolted in. There was just a piece of wood at the top. We're not gonna lie, I'm by no means a small person. In a hole that was about this big for me to get to the top to take stats. My husband's bigger than I am, and so we kind of just stood there and looked at each other and said, that's a hard nope. So shout out to Anthony Stuchel. He came and got our camera for us, and we had to film from the stands and take stats from the stands, but that's okay. We're home this week against Central. Friday the 13th, the 4-3 Greensburg Central Centurions, you know, that team, is headed to William A. Shomo Field to take on your Jeanette Jayhawks. That is 6-1. Of course, last year we don't want to talk about that game. We know what happened. This year, redemption season. As long as the Jayhawks can take care of Samir Crosby and contain him, there's going to be no problem. Friday the 13th, the Jayhawks are coming to play.
Have you ever had a craving for that classic Italian taste that you can't resist? D'Annunzio's Italian restaurant has been serving up delicious flavors to families in Jeanette since 1977, and now they've expanded to Monroeville and Latrobe. And of course, they're proud sponsors of Jayhawk TV. At D'Annunzio's, it's not just about the food, it's about the family tradition. Their friendly staff and cozy atmosphere provide a warm and welcoming environment for customers old and new. Come enjoy their flavorful dishes ranging from classic spaghetti and meatballs to their famous D'Annunzio pizza, all made from the freshest ingredients. At D'Annunzio's, it's a family tradition.
All right, guys, you just watched the D'Annunzio commercial. You know what time it is. It's time for the Jayce Powell play of the week. D'Annunzio smooth sauce play of the week. He's been on it so many times because he has so many highlight plays. And here it goes. Quarterback Peyton Moulter throws a pass to Jayce Powell, and he runs clear to the other side of the field, and man, he sees all green grass, beating just about every Leechburg defender, of course picking up blocks from his teammates the whole way. And man, there's not much else to say than he found the house.
We'd like to thank CASA, court-appointed special advocates, for sponsoring Jayhawk TV. CASA of Westmoreland Incorporated is a volunteer-based organization providing a voice in the courts on behalf of abused and neglected children in Westmoreland County. The recommendation of these volunteers assists the courts in determining the child's placement in a safe, permanent, and nurturing home. If you like being a volunteer, go ahead and check out their website and fill out an application.
All right, guys, we're here with this week's player of the week, Jayce Powell. Jayce, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. So, you've had a big freshman year. What do you attribute your success to so far?
Just been playing all my life and my coach facts.
Yeah, you say all your life. When did you start?
Preschool. I was out football, like midget camp. I was doing that before I could even play.
So, like, when you learned to walk, you learned how to catch a football type of thing. So last game at Leechburg, I caught up with your grandmother, who's a good friend of my family's, and she was saying, you know, I was talking to her and I was like, you know, we're just waiting for the big numbers from Jayce because he's so close to having just that real big breakaway game. And he's like, well, or she said, well, it's in his blood. And, you know, I thought about that and I was like, I think I want to ask Jayce, how many family members can you name?
So, Fats, my mom, Poogie, my grandma, my brother, and a couple of my uncles, like AJ Graves, Bob Powell. Yeah, basically.
So how much do they push you?
A lot. I mean, when I get home from games, I'm getting 30 text messages from them on how I did, how can I improve, stuff like that.
So. Constructive criticism, right? It's all positive. It also helps you better for next week, right? So we were talking, you are the leading tackler as a true freshman. How?
I just like tackling.
Yeah. And I always, so I take the stats. My husband does the camera work, who also does the camera work for Jayhawk TV. We kind of joke, it's always the first 5 plays. It never fails of any defensive drive. Of the, it's always your name in every single play. The first 5 plays, it's like Jayce Powell with the tackle, Jayce Powell with the tackle. Are you just that hot that you came out like you're ready to play?
Yeah, just go get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and how do you sustain that throughout the whole game?
Well, they keep running to my side for some reason, so I just make the tackle.
Do you think because they hear Jayce Powell freshman?
Yeah.
They
think I'm just like a weak freshman.
Yeah.
That's how I put it.
So they underestimate the speed you have?
Yeah.
Should we have you race Noah Sanders and like let them see?
He always thinks he's faster than he's really not.
So now we need to have a race with you, Kamani, and Noah Sanders, right?
Yeah.
Now who's gonna come out first?
Me, of course.
And then who?
Noah, because Kimani's slow.
Oh, you heard it first, guys. Kamani said he was gonna beat Noah a couple weeks ago.
He's too slow.
Because they had a big race at camp, and Kamani says he won, Noah says he won, and now you're saying you're gonna beat both of them.
Yeah, they ain't called me out for a reason.
Guys, you heard it first.
Jayhawk TV would like to thank AHN Hempfield, the neighborhood hospital, for their sponsorship in this year's season. It's close to home, and that's the great thing about it. It's right on top of the hill. It's open 24/7, and it has emergency care with a short wait, and I know that is crucial for everybody. And it has on-site lab imaging and diagnostics, board-certified emergency medicine physicians, and overnight care. I am truly honored to have them as one of our sponsors.
Welcome back. So, I don't know if you've noticed, but Denunzio's sponsors the Smooth Sauce Play of the Week. You've been on it like 3 times already. It's actually going to be you again this week. You've had some really big plays, highlight reel plays already. Last week against Leechburg, you had a really good, I believe it was a kick return for a touchdown. Got called back, right?
Yeah.
So you go back to the huddle, you talk to the guys. What do you say?
I mean, just, we got to bounce back, score. And I couldn't really say too much because I was pretty gassed.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the play from the stands, and man, you just saw open green and you were gone. You also have some really big, like we were saying, highlight reel plays. So how do you, like I said, keep that intensity going?
I just come out to play. I don't really think about all the big plays, but I think I should be doing that on the regular. So just stuff like that.
By your freshman, you are a freshman. By your senior year, what can we expect from you?
100 touchdown season, 5,000 yards.
Is that in one season?
Yeah.
No, you said Fats is always pushing you. He's related to you. How is he related to you?
Stepdad.
He's your stepdad, so he sees you a lot. Is that something that comes up over like the dinner table of like how he did that week?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, he's never congratulated me on anything. He's always saying something negative, but it motivates.
Is it negative or is it like, hey, let's do it, like, let's push it one step further?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's in between, so.
I mean, he was a pretty good football player too. So I was in school when he was playing, and I remember a couple 4 and 5 touchdown games from him too. I've yet to see that from you yet.
I bet he wasn't doing what I'm doing as a freshman.
I do have to say I don't remember that.
One of the staple restaurants when you think of Jeanette is Ketter's Restaurant and Catering, and we are lucky enough to call them one of Jayhawk TV's sponsors. They offer everything from breakfast to brunch to lunch, and they even have a delivery service option. You guys can head on over to South 4th Street and check out Ketter. Just let them know you saw their ad on Jayhawk TV and thank them for me.
Okay, so we're back. We watched a heck of a game versus Leechburg. You know, there was a lot of people doubting if you guys could even come out with the victory. The second half of the Leechburg game was a whole game in itself. Can you talk about what maybe the coaches said at halftime, or just what was different from quarter 3 and 4 versus 1 and 2?
Well, we came out 1 and 2 pretty slow. And then at halftime, coaches made some adjustments. The captains talked to us in the locker room, and everyone just came out ready to play, more motivated.
Yes, and we watched a heck of a game. And I'm telling you, I think I only had like 6 heart attacks during that game, so I'm hoping to keep it a little bit more mild this week. All right, so I know it's Central Week. Are you ready for Central Week?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you have any particular rivals on Central? You don't have to name them because then the whole targeting thing comes into play.
I mean, I'm not gonna say some, but I think they know me.
So you're ready to go out there with the same amount of energy you came with Leechburg?
Yep.
I can't wait to watch this game. So I would like to keep the heart attacks to like a minimum of like 5-ish. But, you know, we were talking about how you have a lot of good leaders on this team. Can you talk about how, you know, the Noah Sanders and even Kamani's a little bit older than you, and all of the other leaders on the team have helped pull you along?
I mean, they just push me in practice, you know, tell me to keep my head up when something goes bad. And yeah, they just do things for me, stuff like that. I think they're great.
Even though you have like a healthy competition going.
Yeah.
So we know that you're new to the team. We don't really know much about you though. So do you have any like pregame rituals?
I'll go like this for my that passed away. Other than that, not really. I'll have him take off my chain right here.
Yeah.
I trust him. Other than that, it's really good.
That's really it. Do you have any maybe a playlist you listen to?
All Young Boy. So.
All Young Boy, that's it. Any snacks like you have to have?
Classic Lay's chips.
That's it.
Yeah.
Any drinks?
Water.
How much water do you consume on a day?
Probably like 3 bottles.
That is a decent amount. How about Gatorade?
I don't drink it.
Really? Okay. All right. And how about off the field? Do you have any fun activities you like to do?
I mean, not really. All I do is football.
You don't? Do you play any other sports?
Basketball.
All right. So we want to present him with the Big Frog custom T-shirts. Jayhawk TV's Player of the Week. It comes custom with his name and number on the back, and that is from our sponsor.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're here with this week's Player of the Week, Jayce Powell. Of course, you guys know what time it is. We're going to play Guess the Gatorade. All right, so the first one is, again, color or flavor.
All right.
You have a full cup, too, don't forget.
I'm not going to lie. I think this is yellow.
1 for 1. We'll make it a little tough on you. And this one's close to yellow. You got it? Yeah. Okay.
This one more.
Yep. All right.
I like my Gatorade.
Peyton said last week he's a Body Armor guy.
I mean, both are good. I think I like Body Armor. This is blue.
Yeah, that's an easy one. All right, and for the hardest one, you can get this one. We'll be impressed.
The only thing I have on my mind is it's either white or red.
It's white. He got it. 4 for 4, and I think we're gonna have to give it to him because Kamani was a little iffy on the last one. So I think Jayce won. All right, guys, that does it for this week's episode of Jayhawk TV. Of course, if you'd like to let us know who you think should be next week's Player of the Week, feel free to message us. And until next week, keep protecting that tradition.